Welcome into the crypto bunker. What's up, guys? Hopefully, you guys are having a great day. I wanted to talk to you guys about what's going on in the markets. Obviously, we do have closing lower lows here on the weekly for the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq, also closing in lower lows. This is just something that I drew out that I think could sort of be a grinding bear market. Where we just kind of make a series of lower highs and lower lows, but we never really have a crash. So this is something that I think is possible, and it obviously would play out over the course of a year or so for this to actually play out. But let's take a look at Bitcoin as well, because I think that there's also a chance, potentially, that Bitcoin is now forming a descending wedge. So this is actually the lines that I'm looking for it to break at this point. I'm not looking at this trend line because that's the trend line everyone's looking at. So when everyone's looking at something, it probably isn't going to work. So I'm going to try to look at something different. And this is a trend line that I thought actually made a lot of sense here, because we are catching support here and resistance. We do have 35.7 coming in on the 100-day SMA for the weekly. The 200 is sitting at 21,671. And obviously we already had this bearish cross, which usually in almost every scenario in Bitcoin's history does mean a crash to the 200 SMA. So we have a lot of people calling for the 200 SMA now. And so again, I don't want to say that we're just going to go into this like skinny little wedge here and then pop up. Again, but I am looking at that sort of as like the breaking point. And then we also have this trend line that sort of comes in here. Comes all the way back to that high there. So taking a look at it, yeah, I think that a key level right now is going to be holding this SMA, because it's a confluence of different moving averages. It would basically be closing potentially a lower low in the chart here. So at that point, there's really 30K after that, and then who knows? That if we break 30K, we go to the 200 for sure. And so we'll see what happens with that. I did want to cover a few altcoins as well. So looking at Matic. Matic is looking pretty bad. I have a target of $1 in terms of just buying some Matic. So I think we're going to get there eventually. This chart to me just looks like we are sort of falling off a cliff here. There's really no support until like 80 cents. And then that's not even that much of support at this point, in my opinion. It's more actually down at like 50 cents. This whole chart really doesn't have great support anywhere, if we're just being honest about it. So this is obviously a log chart, but again, we're breaking some key levels here. So I don't anticipate having to wait too long for the $1 call. I probably should even have a lower call, honestly, but I guess I'm just being lazy with that one. Let's look at Polkadot, and then we'll look at gold and some gold stuff. With gold silver ratio is really interesting right now. Right now we are closing. We closed a lower low. Well, I guess not yet on the weekly. So I'm looking at like 11 on dot, but 12.5 is the 618. I wouldn't be surprised to see anywhere from this 941 to 1250, somewhere in that range. And so again, this is just one of those altcoin charts that there's not much support history. The best support history we have is down in these levels at like the fives. So we'll see what happens with that. Ethereum, honestly, like, I don't know. It's sort of like acting potentially the best, but sometimes that happens and then it just completely dumps. So again, we had the cross bearish. I'm not going to be surprised to see 1700, for sure. If Bitcoin goes, Ethereum will definitely go as well. And there's some pretty strong support in there for sure. Even more like some of the sideways support here that Bitcoin might not even have at 30K as much. So yeah, I'm looking at like 1745. But if we break that, we definitely will go to 1,000. And well, I guess I should say we go to the old all-time high, right? Which is like 1450. And then 1,000. So this next SMA is around 2,000. So look for support there. We wouldn't really want to break 2,400. So those are some key levels: 2,400, 2,000, 1,700, 1,400, essentially. And yeah, this is actually a crazy, crazy chart here. Coinbase. So Coinbase right now, after this close, it's tempting to buy it because I don't really know how like people value this, but I guess they're valuing the fact that they have venture bets on some of the crazier cryptos. You have to excuse me, guys. I'm super tired. I just did, as you've seen some of my videos, some plug spawns. So I just like drilled a bunch of holes in these logs, and it was like my entire force of my body putting myself into. I mean, it took me like 6 hours to do these. And yeah, it was just, I'm like totally burned out. So just doing this for some updates and just to give you guys some of my thoughts real quick. But Coinbase right now is trading at 7.77 price to earnings ratio. That's really low for a growth stock, especially the number one cryptocurrency exchange. So I'm not sure if that's like what's to come in the market. If that's like people pricing in like a major crash in Bitcoin or something. So I'm not sure what that is exactly. But anyway, let's look at the king of them all right now. The king of the market is gold. And gold has been money for 5,000 years, as we all know. And so in these moments of turmoil where people are confused, bonds are crashing, there's nowhere to hide except gold. Gold has done really well this year. And if you look back to, January 1st, it was 1,800. And so we're up a good amount. We're up like 5% after the crash. And that's one of the best performers. If you're talking about asset classes, it's the best performer. Better than the dollar, I think. Well, maybe not, but actually definitely not. If you're looking at the DXY, yeah, but if you're just holding dollars, it's just like, it's just flat. So unless you're trading it on Forex exchanges or something, but so yeah, anyway, with this is a buying opportunity in my opinion. I mean, we touched the 20 SMA on the weekly and we're like just crossing bullish. And again, I circle these because look how wide we are and then look how skinny we are. So usually not a place where you want to sell. And Did we just cross bullish? Not yet. So we haven't even crossed the 50 and the 100 yet. So the 200 for gold just sits super low, because it's just up only, like that's like the major support line for this entire run here. It's kind of just like directionally going up, excuse me. But as Benjamin Cowan likes to say on, his channel, in a bull market, you want to see the 20 SMA hold, and that's what we're doing currently. This is super bullish levels for the fact that we just had a complete and utter washout in tech and in other things, to have gold only down 0.016 and the GDX only down 1.19, sitting on the 20 SMA as well. We're just crossing bullish there. As you can see up here, we were super wide and we had the 20, 50, 100, and 200 in order. That's when you sell, okay? When you have a wide spread of the moving averages and in order. We can see this on all of the major moving averages. For the S&P, that's when you sell. Now they're starting to cross, okay? You don't sell when they haven't crossed. And you got support at the 200, and now you're getting support at the 20. We're looking for big things here. I mean, this is exciting. This could be exciting. Now, people in a liquidity crisis will sell anything, right? That's what this is the most volatile, one of the most volatile markets is gold miners. But gold always snaps back the best from a liquidity crisis crash where things break. Just like in 2020, as you can see, we popped immediately. So even if you're holding a gold miner here and you buy here, which I think is a good buying opportunity, none of this is financial advice, but even if we crashed, if we crash down from here, and we just went somehow to the 200, I mean, we're talking about kind of something like that, and then you're back to where you started. And then you go even after that, right? Like then it would kind of just be just like this, right? It was a bam, 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 bam. It was, if we switch these around, it'd be bam, bam, bam. That's what I think we could be looking at. I mean, this is like a major kind of wedge that's formed here as well in the gold miner index. Some of my favorite gold miners, one of them is Agnico Eagle. And, it looks pretty much the same as the GDX. A lot of them look the same because they're all indexed together. But the best ones you can own are like Newmont, Barrick Gold, Agnico, Franco-Nevada, and Wheaton Precious Metals. Those are like the ones that I like. And those are like the main ones in all the ETFs and stuff. So, but I wouldn't go for the junior miners here. I would stick to the majors for sure if you're looking for that trade there. Wow, Apple just completely dumped on the close. Unfortunately, guys, I closed my puts, and so that's why we're crashing. Trying to think when I close them. I closed them somewhere around here, I think, on this, and then on Tesla, I closed it. We had this big crash the one day. Must have been in this range, but yeah. And I don't know. I was up, so I was like, I'm gonna close it. Oil's interesting. I think a lot of people are calling for lower oil now. Everyone I listen to is like, oh, it's guaranteed recession, lower oil. I mean, to me, that's a bull pennant, is it not? So I don't really know. I don't know. Because when you have a flag, I mean, this is like a flag, it's a bull flag. So I don't know. I mean, all-time highs are 140. I don't, in this, you know, era that we're living in right now, I don't know. I mean, I think that's possible. I don't see why we can't break that. It would catch everyone off guard, and it would kill the economy. It would be stagflation city. Gold would go to the moon. I mean, so this is what, like, if if we were in a bear and we had a crash, and then we form this pennant, right? We would then look for a bear pennant, right? That would go down. But and I understand we're going into a recession, so a lot of this stuff, like, you have to keep in mind, we're going into a recession, so you need to focus on yourself, focus on making more money, cash, and just dollar cost averaging into things, and understanding that this could be a long wait for any of these assets. For gold, for it's just a long, drawn out, sort of painful process for a lot of people or the economy. But that doesn't mean that we can't succeed in what we do every single day, and how we look at the world, right? We can be positive, and just like Bob Proctor says up on the whiteboard here, if you can see that, that is saying basically our thought energy creates a conscious idea, and then that becomes an emotion. That emotion goes through our body and vibrates in a certain way, and then we get results based on that vibration. And so that's a natural law of the world, that we can actually have that power to transmute positive thoughts into results. And so that's a fact. Everyone has that power, and we are born with it. It's a God-given ability, and use it to the best that you can, so that you can make as much money as you can in this world. And that's what I hope to do with this channel, is to help people make money, to give people ideas for being more self-sustainable, to provide people information that they might not have thought of. And I think that if you really listen to a lot of the things that I say, it's really about being self-sustainable. It's about creating wealth. It's about being ahead of the game. We were way ahead of all this. We were selling Ethereum 3,800, buying gold at 1,700. I think there was a crash. It was like 1,750, maybe something like that. So we were ahead of this move. We've outperformed everyone pretty much in crypto. There was really no one that was telling people to get out. I mean, maybe Pentoshi, Keith McCullough, who I give a lot of credit for my calls to him. So, and obviously getting backed up by Pentoshi, but there was a period in January where there was a potential for a run. So I was kind of back on the train for that. And then once that was not confirmed, I just got out, and decided to get everything out. So, again, this is going to be a little bit tougher now. This is more of a patience game, but you can learn skills along the way, right? So you can accumulate skills in gardening, skills in growing mushrooms, skills in meditation, skills in positive thinking. So these are all things that I want to work on with you guys. And so I plan to do that. I plan to do more with this channel, maybe have other channels that can complement those things. So again, if you haven't subscribed, please do so. And yeah, have a great day. Hopefully you guys got something out of the video. If you did, again, subscribe, like the video, and again, have a great weekend.